So tonight, it's Connor McDavid against the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's always a circus when 97 comes to town in Toronto. He's from nearby Newmarket. He's done some absolutely wild things against the Leafs in his games there. And you know he's going to get asked all the time by Toronto media, Connor, you got any friends and family coming over? Wouldn't it be nice to play in front of them? You know what I mean? So he's always going to get that kind of questioning, but he said something really interesting about it this time around that I thought was worth sharing with you guys ahead of tonight's game on Hockey Night in Canada. So this is thanks to Oiler Alert on Twitter. McDavid in his interview today mentioned that most of his family has moved out of Toronto, his friends have gone abroad, and his brother is not in Toronto, so this weekend will be fairly uneventful for him. But he still definitely wants to play for the Leafs, right? And that got me thinking, how many people in Edmonton are worried about Connor McDavid leaving the Oilers when this contract is up and going and signing with his hometown Toronto Maple Leafs? Now, of course, for example, John Tavares signing with his hometown Leafs is probably one of the biggest things that's been fueling this whole narrative here. But I was hearing way more noise about this when McDavid was surrounded by beer leaguers and the Oilers weren't making the playoffs despite him putting up like 120 points. I remember that like from around 2017-18 to 2020, and then when Winnipeg swept Edmonton in the 2021 playoffs, it was getting loud, like how much more of this can McDavid put up with before he wants to leave? And the number one destination was, oh, why doesn't he go home to Toronto? But now, especially with stuff like this where, I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions, but clearly Oiler Alert and people around are maybe saying something along the lines of, hey, I mean, McDavid doesn't really have many ties to the city of Toronto anymore. Why would he want to go and play there? Now, of course, Leaf fans, don't come at me here, please. There is still a chance that he signs with Toronto, right? Just like there's a chance that Austin Matthews signs with the Kings or, you know, the Golden Knights or something. Or his hometown Arizona Coyotes. I know a lot of people like to say, no, there's no shot. They're playing out of Mullet Arena. There's no chance. There's always a chance that a guy wants to go play at home, even if his home is Arizona in the NHL. So there's always that shot that happens, but it's seeming more and more and more unlikely each passing year that McDavid is going to sign with the Leafs. And I mean, there wasn't even a big chance to begin with. So is anybody in Edmonton actually worried about this? There is another team, though. I've seen more people say, oh yeah, he's going to the Rangers. That would be interesting. I mean, Showtime Patrick Kane was like, oh yeah, I want to go play Showtime on Broadway. But McDavid...
Ladies and gentlemen, The Weeknd.
I don't know if you've seen him in interviews or just how all the other times he's shown his personality. He doesn't strike me as a Showtime type of guy. Like, yes, he's done some more unique stuff. Like, he's done some stuff for GQ, some more interesting interviews to show his personality, and some commercials that should be left not talked about. But, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Oilers fans, you guys know him better than I do, even though he's like the golden boy of the league. He just strikes me as a guy who wants to do up the skates and go out there and play some puck. That's what Connor McDavid looks and sounds like to me every time he's in interviews or you see him all the time. He just wants to play hockey. He lives, eats, sleeps, breathes it. And you don't become the best player in the world without that. So I think following in the footsteps of somebody like Wayne Gretzky, the greatest Oiler and greatest player of all time, and leaving a really deep, rich legacy with the Edmonton Oilers, I think that's important to him. I really think that is incredibly important to him. I don't think he's moving. I mean, he's got that heated driveway and that great, like, what is it, $3 million mansion in Edmonton? I don't think he's going anywhere. I really, really don't. I think he's got deep roots in Edmonton, and this stuff of him going to Toronto or New York, I don't think anybody should really be worried about it, and I don't think it's a possibility. And I don't think Leaf fans are pushing it either. I just think that if it's part of the conversation here, don't be worried about it. I think he's going to be an Edmonton Oiler for a very, very long time. He's not going to go the Matthew Tkachuk route or the Johnny Gaudreau route. He's going to stay, I'm pretty sure of it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. As usual, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.